Hey everybody, it's Ziz here, and this video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to talk about the dangers of being a fanboy, and we're going to dissect a ridiculous podcast that was released by the Elder Scrolls Off the Record folks. It's going to be fun. Before we begin, there's a couple of things I would like to say. First, it's okay to be a fan of something. You can root for it and want it to do well. I'm a fan of the Denver Broncos, and I hope they win and they beat anybody they play. But this doesn't stop me from admitting the truth that we got our butts kicked in the Super Bowl. The problem is when you become a fanboy. This is described by Urban Dictionary as someone who is hopelessly devoted to something and will like anything associated with their particular thing. Now, the video we're going to watch is from Elder Scrolls Off the Record, their podcast, which is almost 2 hours long. Obviously, I had to prune some of it down for our commentary. Now, in no way did I try to change the integrity of what they were trying to say. In fact, I will put a link to their video in the description just below. So please feel free to click on that and check it out. Now, what am I talking about?
There's some video out there by some derpadoo who's like, oh, it's going free to play in 6 months or less, and here's all the reasons why I think so. Okay, it's crap. That freaking numbnuts that put out that video
on his damn stupid sit here and talk to you and gab for 17 freaking minutes. I'm not going to sit here and say that this guy is a freaking idiot. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. Neckbeard out there on YouTube, you're welcome.
Who the hell says this game is going free to play in 6 months? Get off the goddamn internet, because you're an ass. You are an idiot for a community that is absolutely fantastic.
As you can see, they're worked up in a pretty big nerd rage. Now, what could I have possibly said to induce this sort of mind-numbing reaction? Well, here's their main concern.
I'm talking real sources. Actual freaking journalism. I've watched this video 4 damn times. 4 times. Do some freaking homework. They said that all these previous games went free to play shortly after a subscription was removed.
Now, it would seem that journalism is really important to them. They watched it 4 times for their research, and they were furious because I gave them misinformation. But what did I actually say? Another user on the official ESO forums by the name of Whiskey Bob pointed out something that I hadn't thought of. Why would an MMO or a company do this? So, I relayed information that someone else had posted. In fact, I show their exact post on the forums, and then I go on to say that it's something I hadn't thought of and talk about why a company could possibly do this. I don't give any wrong facts or state any misinformation that this absolutely did or did not happen. I simply state it's something I hadn't thought of and then why a company might do this. Now, if Off the Record is so concerned about journalism and research, why is it that after watching my video 4 times, they still didn't understand what I was saying? Perhaps a 5th or 6th time would help them out. Since we're so concerned about actual facts, let me give you some right now. Fact: ZeniMax Online purposely removed the 6-month subscription option. Fact: people who were using the 6-month option before now have to pay more for their subscription than they were previously. Fact: at the time of this recording, ZeniMax has still not said anything to ease our fears that the game could possibly go buy to play or free to play. Fact: we cannot trust anything ZeniMax has to say. Most recent example, they told everyone their progression past Veteran Rank 1 would count towards the champion system, but now they've said that it won't. For some people who continued playing because of this, ZeniMax was basically stealing their money. Fact: there is no reason why they would need to remove the 6-month sub option to coincide with any sort of console fee as well. In fact, Final Fantasy, which is an MMO available on PlayStation now, has a 6-month subscription option. Now, here are some facts that the Elder Scrolls Off the Record folks shared during their video.
We've done extensive research.
You know, having smaller increments allows for people to have more options.
There was a quest where I had to gather these items. All right, there's like the Harpy Egg ones in the Daggerfall area. I was fighting with players over collecting 4 or 5 of these eggs because they weren't spawning fast enough. There were so many players in there. Are you serious? Like, losing subs. There's more people in the game now than there's been in months.
Look at the streamers. There's more people streaming this game than ever before.
There's more people streaming this game than ever before.
There's more people streaming this game than ever before. I'd love to see what his character looked like if he even had one. This guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
Off the record, I'm confused because none of the facts you stated actually make any sense whatsoever. How is it possible that removing a 6-month sub option gives you more options? We have 1, 3, and 6. You take away the 6, and then that is the 3, and then it becomes 2, and that's less. Math is hard. And you're honestly telling me there were so many people it was difficult for you to do that quest? Because the video I just showed, I recorded the day after you posted your video. And as you can see, there was no one around. And I know for a fact of Arwen that there are not more people streaming ESO because I was one of the very first streamers when the game came out. And there's maybe a tenth of what there was previously. And was it really that difficult to spend 30 seconds of your journalistic time to look on my YouTube and see that I do in fact have other characters and play the game? Not to mention the fact that I've played for a year and a half and was one of the first people in the alpha. Now, this is not where the confusion ends. In fact, it gets more confusing as they start to make claims that I made in my video and they seem to be agreeing with me. There has been no official confirmation.
There has been nothing official from ZOS.
Now, someone on the French forums actually got a reply from ZeniMax.
With the exception of a European, I think it was one of the European developers.
It doesn't make sense.
And a lot of people just honestly don't believe what this guy said. I'm one of them. I don't really think that this is what they're saying. I can understand that, but why would you remove it? is another thing. So I can totally understand that.
They want to get millions of copies sold on the console, and they're worried they wouldn't be able to do that if there's a subscription fee.
The fear I think that a lot of them are going to have is that, wow, I've got to buy the game for 50 or 60 bucks. I got to buy my subscription.
The end is near.
Well, a lot of people feel that that the game as they know it would end.
The communities generally go downhill very, very quickly
because it brings, let's be honest, free-to-play games carry with it a lot of riffraff in the community. And a lot of things that people don't like.
So instead of content that you want to pay for, they find all these little things to throw at you to pick up, which is usually meaningless and frivolous.
Like development for a cash shop to support the free-to-play model, and actual game content is no longer being developed.
ZeniMax has not replied to this thread, which is kind of status quo. But for something that is so obviously a problem, it's very surprising they didn't come out and give any official word.
What I'm upset about is that ZOS hasn't taken this beast on yet, because that's what's creating a lot of the scare. Is that, oh my, why would they say anything if the game was going free to play? Now is not the time to make the statement. And that's a correct thing to say.
Now, when it's all said and done, given the information that we have, I've stated and continue to believe that this game will go buy to play in the next 6 months. Now, what does Off the Record think given the current situation?
Don't be part of the problem. Just play the game.
None of the crap that's been thrown out there as fact is actually fact.
I almost wonder if some of this is like industry espionage, that EA is paying these guys to get out there.
There's really nothing any of us can do about it because somebody has already made that decision.
God's sakes, this is ZeniMax Media and ZeniMax Online Studios. This is the sister company of Bethesda.
We can threaten, kick and scream and whine and cry about it all we want. It's not going to change a damn thing.
Paul Sage, who refuses to allow you to dye your weapons in the game because he doesn't want to see you running around with a pink sword. Who the hell are you talking to?
I was going to play devil's advocate on this, but if Arwen scared me so much, I don't want to do it.
And you are creating fear, and you are fear-mongering.
So, according to Off the Record, you're just supposed to get in line and play the game. That there are no facts out there, but there might be conspiracy theories. That there's nothing you can do and anything you say is just complaining. That you're supposed to trust ZeniMax and trust Paul Sage. You're not supposed to have your own opinion, and if you say anything they don't agree with, then it becomes fear-mongering. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I implore you, do not become a fanboy. Do not become an ignorant, blind, delusional person that gives no regard to common sense or reason. Embrace other ideas. Look at opportunities as a chance to think of something you never thought of before. And please, do not become like this guy.
All right, this poor man is foaming at the mouth over this.
I need to do this without dropping the F-bomb, and I also need to do this without waking up my children. It's got me fired up so much. I mean, this is freaking ridiculous. Had this been a Sunday show or a Saturday afternoon show, I would have lost my freaking mind.